Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are going to be covering another update for the Deeper Dark mod. So let's jump straight to this update. But before we do, if you do enjoy this video, do leave a like and subscribe. And also if you enjoy the mod, make sure to leave a like so I know. Also, if you would like to suggest any features or help come up and design features, join my Discord and let me know, as I'm looking for people to help design features. You don't have to know how to code or anything like that, just help planning features or even coming up with ideas for entities and stuff like that. Let's first of all cover the minor little tweaks I have made, and then we'll jump to the best features. So stay tuned to the very end, because at the end of the video, that is when I'll be showing off the best things. First of all, when you actually light the portal, the texture for the actual portal has been updated. It is no longer just using the skulkified wood, it's now using a custom texture. And also, upon entering the dimension, you would normally see a message. This message right here, a voice from the dark, you have entered the Deeper Dark. This will now only show upon first entering the dimension. If I was to leave this dimension and come back into the dimension, that message will no longer display anymore. The next actual minor change we have made is the Sonic Staff has had a complete rework. As you can see, the model and the texture has been updated to make it look a little bit better, and also when you charge it up now, it also looks a lot better. This is just because before it was very weird looking and it didn't really make much sense. It has also been updated in hand, so it's quite big, but I think it looks a lot better model wise and also texture wise. Quick little quality of life change. There is now skulkified stripped or stripped skulkified infested log, and this can basically be gotten just from stripping the normal log. Obviously, to strip logs you just right click with an axe. There is then also skulkified infested wood, which is the 6-sided, and then there is also a stripped version of this. Once again, to get this block you have to actually strip this version. And finally, there is now sturdy cobblestone. So this is obviously gotten from mining sturdy stone. Unless you're using silk touch, then you'll still get sturdy stone. Skulk infested signs have also been added, and as you can see, that is what they look like. They work like normal Minecraft signs, so you can glow ink them and also dye them, and you can also place them on the wall just like you can with Minecraft signs. Now jumping to some of the better features, we have added something called the Skulk Claw. And basically what this does, if we quickly just grab a crafting table, the actual Skulk Claw is crafted like so. It's crafted with, this actual texture is old, so the actual crafting recipe, once it's fully released, will just be one skulk block and one diamond sword. The others, this was the recipe, but I think this is way too hard. The block isn't too OP. What the block basically does is any entity standing on top of the block, it will damage that entity. So if we quickly just grab maybe a zombie, and I put a zombie down there, as you can see, the zombie is taking damage. Hostile creatures, that's why it's not making any noise. But the thing about it is, as you can see, I got the Monster Hunter advancement for killing that mob, although I never actually touched it. And the reason for that is, it does player damage. But the good thing about it is the player damage it does is the closest player to the block. So if you want to build a farm in multiplayer and you are standing closest to this block, it will class as you killing them. If there's more than one player in the world, it will class as the closest one to the block. So it's a really cool functional block, and it basically can be used in mob farms instead of using campfires and stuff like that. And it also classes as player kills, so anything that mobs have to have players for, it will drop them. So things like armor and also the rarer drops. The next thing is called the Candle Lantern, and this, if I quickly just get the recipe, this is how you craft the Candle Lantern. 6 sturdy stone and a chain. And basically what this does is when you place it down, as you can see, that is what it looks like. You can also have this hanging like you can with normal lanterns, but there's a difference. As you can see, it's empty. There's nothing actually inside of it. And that is because you can click candles on them. And as you can see, it now actually renders the candle inside, and you can put any single color candle in. You can also then light them with a flint and steel, and they'll give off a higher light level than Minecraft candles. So this is just a cool little feature, I think. and it makes it so you can decorate with candles without having to actually place them down. You can also put the candle out just by clicking on it. As you can see, it then turns the actual candle out. The next block is this block right here, and this is called the Spirit Extractor. This is actually crafted like so. So if we quickly just type in Spirit Extractor, it's crafted with 6 Echo Shard blocks, a Skulk block, and then 2 Blazing Rods. Blazing Rods are also new. I'll cover them more in a second. So basically what this Spirit Extractor does is this is the inventory it has, and you can put a actual bucket in that slot. The bucket has to be darkness fluid. So if we quickly just throw darkness fluid into there, as you can see, it's emptied the bucket and filled this up with darkness fluid. You can put up to 64,000, and each bucket is 1,000. And basically what this does is you can then put any item or block in the game. This can literally be anything. It can be anything from sticks to dirt, all the way up to bedrock. So let's just throw in some copper. It will then start turning the copper into spirit token fragments. Now the thing to note, it does consume your copper, so whatever you put in here you will lose. But as you can see, it also does use darkness fluid as well. It uses 100 darkness fluid per every item it takes from here. Now the best thing about this is you can actually hopper in items from the side. The sides can take in either items here, so it can take in darkness buckets, but it can also take in items here. And hoppers underneath can only take items from this slot and this slot. So basically you can have this fully automatic. By having hoppers inputting darkness buckets and also items, and then you can have a hopper underneath taking out the spirit token fragments and also empty buckets. Now there isn't actually a way currently to farm darkness fluid, but that will be added in the next update. So for now you will have to go around the world and explore for it. Just to recap, darkness fluid can be found in the world structure and also in random patches at the very bottom of the world. Now, spirit token fragments, before they could only be turned into a block. You can make spirit tokens out of them, and then if you actually had 9 of these, you could turn them into a spirit token block, which that is still the case. But they have been given huge changes within this update. If we quickly just grab the Merker, the Merker has been completely revamped. The Merker will now have random trades that it will trade spirit tokens for items within the Deeper Dark. So this block is going to be really good if you want to farm spirit tokens to get a load of items from these actual Merkers. Thing to note about Merkers though, when they actually spawn randomly in the world, they have a random chance to have between 2 and 8 trades. So you can find one. Here we go, this one right here only has 3 trades and 2 of them are the same, which is something to note. They also work like the Wandering Trader, so once you've brought out all the items, they will then not restock. But they can sell pretty much anything within the actual mod, from echoing armor and also echoing tools, being more expensive. As you can see, a full stack of spirit tokens, also the sonic staff. So this is basically the best thing these spirit tokens can be used for. Just to get basically items. The next blocks is the compressed skulk. You've got 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and 6 times. And basically what this is it's skulk compressed. You basically get this one from 9 skulk blocks in a crafting table, then this one is 9 of them ones, and so on. Now what are these blocks actually used for? They're not really good for building or decorating, but the actual use for these, if I go into survival mode, the higher level you make, the more XP it gives. Normal skulk gives 1 XP. This gives 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Breaking this one will give you 6 times more XP than this one. So it's more efficient to make all your skulk into this block if you're obviously wanting to farm XP. And how you get the XP is you just break it. These cannot be obtained once they are placed down. So basically they're like a one-time use. Once you place them, you can then not get the block back. Another thing to note, we have made changes to the potion emitter. This is a block that gives you any potion effect, and how it works now is it will give you the potion effect of the potion inside. So if I throw in a let's throw in a strength potion. If I was to click the strength potion on, as you can see, we now have strength until I actually take the potion out. Then the strength will start ticking down. But alongside that, that also brings a change to the actual button under controls. This was before Potion Emitter Tooltip. It's now called the Deeper Dark Tooltip. And by turning this on, if we then go to the creative inventory, a lot of items will have a description on what they are actually used for, as some blocks are obviously not really noted. So as you can see, a lot of items just have little tiny descriptions on what they actually do. So if you want to see what an item does that you were a bit confused about, you can just turn on the tooltip and it should tell you. The next feature we are going to cover is a new mob. Now, this mob is gotten in a very difficult way, but that's because it's a overpowered mob. So how you actually get this mob is you need to get yourself a sheep, which is right here. So you need to get yourself a Minecraft sheep, and this Minecraft sheep needs to be put into the Deeper Dark. So you would get that from obviously pushing a sheep down into the Deep Dark and then putting it through the portal. And once you've actually done that, you will get yourself a what is called a blooming sheep. Now, what makes this blooming sheep so OP? It can be sheared to get yourself blooming wool, and basically, because there is no grass within this dimension, the way to actually get it to grow its fur back is clicking black apples on them to basically feed them black apples. And as you can see, it will grow its fur back, and you can basically keep doing this infinitely, which as you can see, if I click it on, okay, it don't work in the offhand, and this is basically a way to farm wool. The reason we have actually made this change is because then this wool block stops vibrations, so it makes traversing this dimension a lot easier. The next addition is polished, sturdy andesite, granite and diorite, then slabs and stairs for all the polished versions, and then slab, stairs and walls for the normal sturdy blocks. As you can see, there is ones for diorite, andesite, granite, and then also cobblestone as well. Let's now cover the next additions. The first one is sculk layers, and this is it works exactly like snow layers. It can be piled up to a full block being 8. But the difference is it has gravity. So if we was to place it here and then the block underneath it was to be destroyed, it will fall onto the solid block below. If there is like a torch or something, it will break just like gravel and sand. The next thing is blazing rods, and these are sculk looking rods. They can obviously be held up like this. They are blue on one side, white on the other, and they work just like end rods. They can actually be altered like this. They can also obviously be changed like end rods, but the thing is that they will always match up. So the white will always touch the white, the blue will always touch the blue. So you can basically build something with them and it will always match up. These are actually used within the Spirit Extraction crafting recipe. And how you get these is from the actual blaze mob that spawns within the dungeons. The dungeon being at this place right here, it spawns in the very bottom right here, as you can see. And when you actually kill this, it has a chance to drop basically between 1 and 4 of these. Now let's cover some changes to the actual biome or dimension. As you can see, we have completely revamped how the actual dimension generates. To make the dimension easier, we have done it so actual wardens or sculk shriekers only spawn below level 0. So to actually have warden spawning, you have to go below level 0, as you can see right here, and this will actually spawn a warden. But if you're above level 0, you have these shriekers, which is exactly the same. They just have a black box instead of the actual spirits. And these actual ones, if we quickly just summon them, they will summon what we call a sculk stalker, as you can see right there. And these are basically a way weaker mob. They have a lot less health and a lot less actual attack damage. As you can see, sculk layers do also generate down here now, and also sculk sprouts, which as you can see work like the 1.20 pink petals. They can be placed down from 1 to 4 on a block, and you can also bone meal them to get more. The final thing is the collapsing cavern is a new biome within the Deeper Dark, and if we teleport to it, as you can see, if we actually try to locate where it is, here we go. It's actually a dripstone cave within Deeper Dark, but it's using sturdy pointed dripstone and also sturdy dripstone blocks. So this is basically a or an area within the dimension that is technically meant to be collapsing, obviously with the dripstone everywhere. We have also obviously fixed a lot of bugs within the version. One of them that I can note is murky cobwebs now render correctly in your hand. They rendered as a 3D item before, and there was a lot of other bugs we fixed. There was also a bug with the actual podium where you couldn't actually take items out of it. If you now click on it when it has an item in it, it will pop the item out. Note, you have to have an empty hand to take items out. But anyway, that is it for this update. It's actually a bigger update than it looks, because a lot of the blocks we have added are just like variants of blocks, which makes it just compatible. But I guess that is where I'm going to end this video. If you have any suggestions for the next update, do let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.